What really gets my dick hard is...
So fucking what?
Welcome to Metal Up Your Podcast, episode 12. I'm Ethan Luck.
And I'm Clint Wells.
And we are back for another episode. We hope you enjoyed the Jason Newsted episode. We had a hell of a time making it, as you heard.
Yep.
If you stuck around long enough in that episode, you heard nothing but church giggles.
Well, I couldn't resist. I actually, when I quote unquote dropped the episode, I mentioned that you should probably stick around. There's a little bonus thing at the end.
Yeah, it was kind of like our hidden track,
which we didn't really put any time between the end of puppets. Like, we didn't really hide it.
We didn't hide it, no.
It's right there.
But, I mean, when that little puppets clip comes on at the end, I'm sure a lot of people know, okay, that's the end. They might just hit stop. So if you heard, or if you stopped it at that point, maybe go back and take a listen.
Yeah, you might find yourself laughing.
Yeah, because we definitely did for about 6 minutes.
It was kind of a phenomenon. It was like almost even, dare I say, a spiritual moment.
It was a spiritual moment for sure. I will say that night, I don't know the last time I laughed that hard for that long. And It wasn't for any specific reason. We just started laughing and it just couldn't stop.
I really don't know the origin. And I will say, I was crying. I was laughing so hard, and I snorted a few times. Which
You did
the snort that you hear in that episode is probably the second time I've snorted in my adult life.
Really? Okay.
I don't do a lot of
So
snorting.
we got you laughing that much where you snorted. I feel like that's a big accomplishment in our friendship. Oh yeah? Have you gotten Clint to snort? I have.
I made Clint snort once.
Whoa.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I've got one up on your wife, basically.
She may have made me snort. Maybe
Okay.
for other reasons.
All right, we're tired.
Okay, so we're going to begin the episode as we've been beginning each episode reading some feedback.
Yeah.
From our various social media bullshit.
Yeah, we love
things.
it. We love hearing feedback. We love interacting with you guys. We do our best to keep up with it. Sometimes it gets a little delayed because we're traveling, but try to do it within a day or two.
Yep, that's right. So, am I reading? I'm starting. Is that?
Yeah, you start.
Okay,
You
yeah,
start,
yeah.
yeah.
So
I'm gonna make my glass go clinky.
clinky, clink, clink. So we've culled all these from our various social medias, our Instagram, our Twitter, YouTube, email, and also the Metallica forum, and some from Reddit. Although, mysteriously, our Reddit interaction has pretty much dropped off a cliff.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure
I mean,
why.
that whole website to me is just a black hole in space.
It just makes me feel like they don't like us anymore.
That's fine.
Which is fine.
That's cool.
I mean, fuck you guys.
Yeah, fuck you both. Fuck you all. But I mean, whatever. That's
I'm
cool.
just kidding.
We
No,
respect you.
So from the forum, from Metallica 3, we have, he says, never listened before, like what I hear.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe a little hesitant, but I think
He's like wading into the pool. He's checking the temperature.
yeah, we've got his attention.
Yeah. All right, cool. Jeweler DeRuler says, first time listening. Great job, guys. Enjoyed this a lot.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Jeweler DeRuler. Jeweler DaRuler?
Da Ruler, I think.
Da
yeah.
Ruler. Metsui says, heard 3 episodes so far. Absolutely love it. I mean, a podcast about Metallica. Can things get any better?
That's a great question.
Well, you know what the answer is? No.
Nope. They cannot.
Things could not be better. You just got promoted. Your wife loves you again. Your kids are happy and sane and not psychopaths.
Yeah.
Is that better than listening to 3 episodes of Metallica podcast? No.
Nope.
Batcountry 97 says, I really got to get some time to go through these podcasts. Great work.
Well, I mean, it sounds like, great work. He's probably listened to something.
He heard one, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then after that, there's 11 others, so.
I hope that he finds time. I hope
so,
he
too.
achieves that goal.
And take the advice from Metsui.
Yeah.
No, it can't get any better.
Metsui says it can't get any better, so Backcountry 97.
Metsui speaks the truth.
Metsui knows what's up.
Oh, yeah. And then we got Eddie J, 1984. Checked out the first episode on my drive home and finished it running. Good thing to run to. Great first episode. It's really great to finally have a Metallica podcast.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
We're happy to fill the void.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know how it is with running because I don't run a lot, and by that I mean not at all. But I know when driving, sometimes music gets a little monotonous, and you've heard stuff a million times. Listening to podcasts and make the time go by faster, so maybe that's the case with running too. I don't know
what's better than running?
Listening to a Metallica podcast?
Driving. Guaranteed to get you there faster.
Guaranteed. You are correct, unless you're in New York City.
I like imagining someone like on an elliptical or a treadmill, like getting pumped up to exercise, listening to us laugh for 7 minutes at the end of the Jason episode.
Eddie J is running.
It just really pushes you through that last 30 minutes.
Or I wonder if like they get a case of the church giggles by listening to us do that,
and then they're just giggling on a treadmill.
Yeah, just like hunched over, like out of breath, laughing. I hope that's the case. Let us know, Eddie J 1984. All right, we have Metallica 08. That's a good screen name, by the way. Loving the podcast with 3 exclamation points, by the way.
Okay.
For a diehard like me that knows a few people in the real world with only a casual knowledge of Metallica, this is perfect. Keep up the good work.
Very cool.
Hey, guess what, Metallica? We will.
We will do that.
We'll at least keep up adequate work.
We weren't going to until we read this, and now
we were thinking about like shutting this thing down actually. But thank you to you.
Thanks, Metallica.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it going. B Metal 112476.
Which, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
When someone's making these usernames, and it's something like B Metal, which all right, like
cool,
either like B Metal or like Brandon Metal or whatever. Or what accounts for the 112476?
I don't know.
Is that a birth date? Maybe.
I would venture to say that if you knew this guy, maybe that's his PIN number for everything. Hey, go with B Metal to the bank next time.
I would hate to have to type in all those numbers for everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, what does B Metal have to say?
He says, good recap of the shows, Clint. Hey, what bands do you and Ethan play in?
Oh, that's a good question.
Okay.
I think he's talking about our 30th anniversary show, by the way.
Okay.
Because I was famously insecure about whether or not that show was boring.
Oh,
remember, I was like,
episode.
but apparently the episode it worked okay.
Yeah. And full disclosure, we want to wear our black hearts on our sleeves here. A lot of times we finish an episode and we're like, that was cool, and the next morning I wake up and I'm like, I don't know if that one's going to be that good, and then we get this great feedback. So
we live for your validation.
Yes, we do. It's very true. But okay, so what bands do you and Ethan play in?
Wow.
I mean, the list is long.
It's long.
Currently, I don't play in any bands. I play my own music, solo stuff.
But you should tell them what that is and where to find it, though, because it's really good.
Sure. Oh, okay, fine. I will.
I have to beg this guy to promote his own music.
Well, I have a couple solo EPs I've put out over the last couple of years. Get it on iTunes. Just type in Ethan Luck. You'll find it.
And it's badass. Like, it's really cool. You guys should check it out.
It's kind of like punk, like melodic punk rock. I'm from Southern California, and I think that kind of comes out in it, like very reminiscent of Social Distortion.
And you play all the instruments on it,
I play all the instruments
on
it,
very
stuff.
cool.
Yeah, with the exception of a few things. My last EP, Paul Moak, our friend, produced. Mm-hmm. He played some organ, did some backup vocals, but I did everything else. My preferred way for people to get my music, if you are interested, is on Bandcamp. It's the most direct way, and all my music on Bandcamp is name your price.
Oh, cool!
So you can get it for free. You can pay me $20. You can pay me $100, which would be awesome. But that is just bandcamp.com. What is it? Shit. EthanLuck.bandcamp.com.
Maybe it's just Google Ethan Luck Bandcamp.
That would be a good idea. Yeah, I think it's
EthanLuck.org/http.
I can't believe I'm going to look it up real quick because I'm that stupid apparently.
But you should also tell our listeners the bands that you have also been in, because they might have heard of them.
Okay. I've been in an array of bands stylistically. I've been in ska bands, reggae bands, metal, whatever. But I was in a kind of pop rock band called Reliant K. I played drums in that band for a long time. I played guitar in a band called the Supertones, which is a ska band. Most relatable to this podcast, I was in a metal band called Demon Hunter from Seattle.
Which Demon Hunter is fucking awesome.
Thank you. No, I've told this to Clint before. That broke my heart when I had to leave that band, and the only reason being was because they were very part time, and when I was playing drums in Reliant K, we were very full time. So It was tough to manage both. But it was the funnest 4 years I had in a bit of my music career. Played on 2 of their records, one called The Triptych, one called Storm the Gates of Hell. So if you like metal, melodic metal,
if you like metal, check out Demon Hunter. It kicks ass.
What about you, Clint?
So I'm mainly a freelance touring session guitar player based in Nashville. So in a given year, I play for up to 15 different artists. Most notably, an Austin, Texas rock guy named Bob Schneider. Been with him for a while. Played with Jesse Balin, Mindy Smith, a good friend of ours named Matthew Mayfield, who I'm going on tour with at the end of March,
I'm so
opening for Blue October. I'm currently, my main thing is a country guy named Rodney Atkins, We play every weekend. If you happen to go to a country festival show and you see a dude on stage wearing a Kiss or a Metallica shirt and a Panama hat, that's probably me.
But not a Panama Jack T-shirt.
Not a Panama Jack T-shirt. Panama hat. Surprisingly, two very different things.
Very different things.
Also, I'm a songwriter. I spend a lot of my time at home writing songs. If you want to hear any of that shit, you can go to soundcloud.com/Clint Wells. It's all there.
And that's a great place to listen to Clint's music because they're like myself. We're both pretty versed in a lot of different styles of music, and Clint has stuff all across the board stylistically. Yeah. I've listened through a bunch of that stuff when he first sent it to me, and there's some really kick-ass stuff.
There's some metal, there's pop, there's dark, moody shit, there's acoustic stuff, there's, Americana, outlaw flavor. It's all there.
And by the way, I just looked it up, my own Bandcamp website. It is ethanluck.bandcamp.com.
I'm glad that you know it now.
Well, it's one of those things that, like, you go to your browser and you just type in the first few letters and it shows up. I also have it bookmarked, so that's what I do. I go straight to the bookmark.
Cool.
And I don't often pay attention to the details.
It is cool that it's pay what you want, too. I mean, I guess that's kind of the new way to try to share your music.
Well, I remember Radiohead were, like, pretty big pioneers in that whole
For In Rainbows?
thing. Yeah. And
I think they did that for, like, a limited time. It was pay what you want.
Yeah.
Like for 3 months.
Well, I remember reading an article about that, and they said that they actually ended up making more money per record doing that. And I decided to do that. Not that I'm selling Radiohead numbers, quite the opposite. But my last EP, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put it up for $5 because I'm extra proud of this. It's the best sounding one I've done. And I noticed right away I made way less. So I instantly changed that.
Wow, interesting.
But I think with music now, I mean, yeah, people are going to take stuff for free. They're going to go to Spotify, whatever. But if you give them the option, I feel like people, they don't necessarily feel obligated, but they feel like, oh, that's cool. Like, he's willing to give this to me for free. I'll give him a couple bucks,
It's a new world, man. It's Ethan and I have been professional musicians for around 20 years. We're on a new frontier. It's good and it's scary and all that.
This would be good stuff to dive into when we do a Napster episode.
Yeah,
because we're definitely going to.
Oh well, I have a lot to say about that. We've actually gotten several requests to do that. The last thing I'll say before we move on to a few more of these questions before we do our Through the Never synopsis is I mentioned Matthew Mayfield, who I'm touring with. Matthew Mayfield's last record, Ethan and I both played on. Yeah. Ethan played drums, I played guitar. It's called Recoil.
It's great,
and it's fucking awesome. You guys should check it out,
especially the drums and guitar.
The songwriting, pretty good. Yeah. Production, pretty good.
Voice, okay.
Drums, stellar. Guitar playing, genius.
Yeah. And I did not do a Saint Anger kind of tone on my snare drum, just so you know.
Well, yeah, you played a normal snare drum. You didn't play a trash can.
I played a normal snare drum.
So that's MatthewMayfield.com. Check it out. Okay.
Yeah. And then we got Gene F62. The last 7 minutes of hysterical laughing was infectious and sounded like pure delirium. Ha 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 ha.
It was.
Keep up the awesome job.
That's cool.
It was delirium, and it was, it was very hysterical.
And I think she has a little more on. There's a PS.
Postscript.
Postscript.
I'm sure you guys have already thought about this, but perhaps once all of the Hardwired to Self-Destruct songs have been played live, would love a comparison of how they worked on tour versus on the album. I would love to do that as well because I've already noticed that they're detuning live.
And they're especially Kirk, which he's already kind of changing up the game a little bit on the solos.
Yeah. Well, I know the detune. I think we've mentioned this in a previous episode, but the detuning thing
for James's voice.
Yeah,
which I back that. That's fine.
I totally back that. No, and they've been doing that for a while with older songs. Especially when you hear like stuff off Kill 'Em All or Puppets. But I mean, the dude's 53 years old. On record, like on Hardwire, you can get that. He brought back that classic Hetfield growl, which we love. But you can't do that every night when you're 53 years old and your vocal cords have been going nuts for the last almost 40 years.
Do you think that the general non-musician fan can tell a difference if it's tuned down a half step?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been times where they'll post a clip of a song, like they just been posting stuff from Mexico. They played there last night. And I think it was a clip of, Hardwired actually. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think about, this is detuned. Right. And then when it got to a certain part, I thought, that is detuned.
You know what's interesting about that is someone posted a video today. The video is so shitty, though, I couldn't really tell what it was. But apparently during Now That We're Dead, speaking of doing things differently on the record, every band member gets on the drums and plays.
I saw a photo of that. Yeah, I haven't sought out any live clips of it.
Because I know James is a closet drummer.
He can play drums, yeah.
I didn't know about Robert or Kirk though.
But it also might be one of those things like, it's always been very popular, and I'd say the last 5 or 6 years, we always joke like, oh, downstage percussion. Downstage means the front of the stage, by the way. Or like cool arty bands have a bunch of floor toms. Everyone hits.
Floor toms, that's a new thing.
Yeah,
Lumineers is just a band of floor tom players.
Yeah, exactly. So I think maybe it was kind of more in that vein. We're like, hey, this will be a fun part to all kind of jam.
Do you think they all just wanted to do that? And now that we're dead, that tom thing.
Yeah, that could be the case. I don't know. I haven't actually, like I said, looked up videos on it, but whatever. I'm sure it's cool.
All right, so moving on, which thanks, Jean. Jean actually on the forum, she private messaged me some cool shit, and she's cool. She's a big fan of the show.
Awesome. Thank you, Jean.
From Twitter, Joel Hebensberger.
Hang on a second.
How do you say that?
Hang on a second. Hebensberger.
Hebensberger.
I think it's Hebensberger.
Hebensberger. How do you know it's not a long E?
I think I can pronounce it.
Torben, help us.
His name is Joel Hebensberger.
So Joel Hebensberger from Twitter says, love the pod. He went ahead with the He abbreviated podcast.
That's cool. I'm fine with that.
Love the pod. My love for the band has been reignited. Kiss is number 1. Fuck yeah, it is. But Metallica is a solid number 2. Thanks, guys. We got a rabid Kiss guy.
That's awesome.
I wonder if he heard about us from Podcast Rock City.
I hope so. Those guys are great.
Well, if our listeners don't already know, I am a massive Kiss fan. So if you want to shoot us an email and riff about Kiss, as long as it doesn't take too much away from the Metallica family, like Jason did with Echo Brain, we will talk. We will talk Kiss.
What I love about Joel's comment, and we've been hearing this a lot, is that we've reignited people's love for Metallica.
That's amazing, dude.
My friend Derek, who we talked about before, the drum tech, he's told me that, he's texted me that. He's like, man, I love Metallica, but I'm really diving deep into these records again, which so are we. So.
I would say I fit into that category, man.
Yep, 100%.
All right. And then we have an Instagram.
Yeah, we got some Instagram. Wiley Guitar. Good use of the emojis. It's the 2 metal hands and the little devil smiley face. Cool. Love the podcast. Thank you. Short and sweet. You're welcome.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for listening, man.
Yeah, thanks for paying attention. Thanks for commenting. And
we're really grateful to everyone who listens and writes in. All right, we got a couple of... So we get a ton of emails, and man, we're so grateful for them. But if people choose to write to us an email, they're usually a bit longer. Yeah. People have been telling us kind of their Metallica stories, which has been fucking awesome.
It's really cool to hear, yeah.
We can't read a ton of that on the episodes. I'm sure you'll understand why, but we are going to read a few here. This is from MSUSKI. How do you say it, Torben?
I think it's pronounced Masuki. From Poland. We're almost neighbors.
Okay, Masuki from Poland. Hi, Clint and Ethan. I've recently discovered your podcast and watched... Oh, I guess he or she is seeing it on YouTube because we put our episodes on YouTube.
Okay.
I watched all the episodes during the last 3 days. I think you're doing an amazing job. Metallica World definitely needed a fan podcast like this.
Cool.
It feels so good to listen to your conversations and compare them with my own thoughts on certain subjects. I really hope you'll get some recognition because you deserve it. Very cool.
Thanks, man.
It's enough that you recognize us, Masuki.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he or she goes on to say, I can't wait for the gear episode. Wow. Someone who wants to hear the gear episode. I'm worried that one might be kind of a little too nerdy, a little too niche.
Maybe, but if we talk, we're talking about certain things in relation to tones on albums,
right?
Albums people like, maybe they'll pay attention.
I can't wait for the gear episode since I personally play the guitar as well as the Jason Newsted episode. So this is obviously before the Jason episode dropped. He's my favorite bass player, Metallica. Me too. With no offense to Cliff or Rob, because I love all three of them. Same here. Jason had the attitude, great vocals, and onstage presence that I absolutely adore. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Exactly, man. That, yeah, I think
that's a good sum up of Jason for sure.
Yeah. So thanks, Masuki from Poland.
Thank you, Masuki. Poland, man, that's so cool. We have a listener in Poland.
Yeah. Where's that?
I think it's New Jersey.
Poland, New Jersey.
Yeah, Poland, New Jersey. It's next to Hoboken.
That's where Chris Christie lives.
All right, we got another email from Ken Laura. Hello, gentlemen.
Which, stop right there.
Yeah, very proper.
I don't know if that's accurate. Are we gentlemen? We're gentlemen.
Of course we are.
Of course.
Fuck yes, we are.
We're fucking gentlemen.
Fucking gentlemen. Jeez. Hey, we're fucking gentlemen.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink. Hello, gentlemen. Just got through the first 2 episodes, and they are great. Love Metallica for many years. Glad there's a podcast for fans now. You guys are passionate, Have your own good opinion. I glanced and I said options.
Have your options on stuff.
Have your good options. You have your own good opinions on stuff. Even I don't agree. Please keep up the good work. Can't wait to hear other episodes. Sad and glad I caught you guys near the beginning and you aren't months or a year in. Glad I can catch up easily. Sad when I get through them. Now I got to wait. Well, I know the feeling. There's podcasts I listen to that...
I know you're just refreshing every couple of days.
I mean, yeah, there's that, or the complete opposite, where there's a podcast I love, like the Nerdist podcast, for instance. There's 840 episodes.
Yeah, it's like so many.
I'm not going to get through them all, but I just, at that point, I kind of go and pick and choose. Oh, I like that actor. I like that musician.
Let's do this real quick to wrap up this. What's your favorite podcast that you would recommend to our listeners?
I honestly like the Nerdist podcast, but that...
But everyone listens to that.
Everyone listens to that because
what's something you could turn them on to?
I would actually like to. I would shout out my friend's podcast. It's called "Don't Feed the Trolls." It's my friend Nate Henry and Matt McDonald, two guys I've toured with before in bands. They do it remotely every episode. Nate lives in Tennessee here. He's about an hour east of here, and then Matt lives up in Seattle. But it's called "Don't Feed the Trolls." It's like a general topic, current event kind of thing, and they have guests on like. For example, I was telling Clint about this earlier. They've done a couple episodes about Sasquatch, but it's so entertaining because they actually have a guy on that claims he had an encounter. So, yeah, check that out. It's called "Don't Feed the Trolls."
It's amazing you can have more than one episode on the Sasquatch.
They've had 3, and I've given Nate shit because him and I have. He used to live 3 doors down. That's not a band reference. Shut your mouths. He used to live 3 doors down from me.
I'm a loser. Sooner.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut because now you singing that, you're going to get a bunch of emails.
I'm trying to find a way
it'll distract from...
I'm trying to find a way to work Sasquatch into a 3 Doors Down song. I can't do it because I don't.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's the only song I know.
Well, anyway, so Nate and I, we're avid fire pitters. We love making fire pits and hanging out, drinking some whiskey, and talking.
You do
about
have a good
stuff.
fire pit here at your house.
I do, yeah. Maybe we'll record an episode out there one time. It might get a little clicky sounding with all the stuff burning, but who cares?
I don't
either. Let's go outside right now and make a fire. Anyways, we would one of the things we'd always talk about is Sasquatch and like cryptozoology. It's called the stuff like what church giggles now. Cryptozoology.
You just said it so casually. It's like a cryptozoology thing.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's like a chupacabra. Loch Ness monster, things like that.
I know. Cryptozoology.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
totally.
So anyways, I've given Nate shit a couple times for not having me on as a guest.
It sounds like you would be a good guest.
He hasn't had me on his podcast yet. Although I haven't had him on my podcast, my other podcast, or this one.
Which is the Pirate Satellite. Ethan's other podcast, Pirate Satellite. Check it out.
Yeah, I'm picking it back up soon. I've taken a break from it because of this podcast and other commitments, but it's going to be... I've got 16 episodes out on that, so... Clint was a guest.
Yeah,
I can't remember the episode number, but yeah, that was kind of that was a part of what started this, or at least helped this podcast get going. So.
If you do want to listen, it actually is interesting. You can hear Ethan and I talking before we ever even decided to do this, and we do talk about Metallica on our episode.
Yes,
we talk about Freddie Krueger and Kiss.
Yeah, well, you know what? I've probably told you this, but the original idea that I had for this podcast was that Metallica kept coming up in every episode of my other podcast.
Right.
Not in crazy detail, but it came up all the time.
Right.
And one day I thought I should just start a Metallica podcast.
Yeah.
Who would I do this with? And I hit you up.
Yeah. I'm the loser.
I'm the Lars. And I put the ad out.
And I'm the James.
And you're the James.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I'm the Lars.
Wait, but please don't let me be the Kirk or the...
No, you're the James. We don't have a Kirk.
Am I the Ron McGovern? Or you're like, who else got to get to do it? I'll just get my friend to do it.
Are we Ron McGovern and Dave Mustaine?
Oh, God.
Oh, geez.
All right, so the podcast I would recommend, briefly before we get into this, is I'm an unashamed, unabashed cinephile. I love films. I spend almost as much time thinking about watching films as I do music. And there is a podcast called the Bret Easton Ellis Podcast. Bret Easton Ellis is an author. He famously wrote American Psycho and Less Than Zero. He lives in LA. He's heavily involved in the film industry.
Less Than Zero, great soundtrack, by the way.
The soundtrack to the film?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's also the name of a Elvis Costello record.
It is, yes.
So yeah, I don't even know what was on the soundtrack.
What, Elvis Costello?
No, the Less Than Zero, the film soundtrack.
The Less Than Zero soundtrack
because it was like an 80s film.
Metal bands and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Keep talking. I'm gonna pull up the track listing just to
Well,
mention
Bret
it.
Easton Ellis, so he's an author. He's and he's also sort of a culture vulture. He's like a cultural guy. He has a podcast where he has people like Quentin Tarantino, Rob Zombie, Ty West, Kanye West. I don't know why that came to my mind because they're both the last names are West. He had Marilyn Manson on, Shirley Manson. I'm just gonna start naming
So many
two
Mansons.
of his guests in a row that have the same last name. But the Bret Easton Ellis podcast, check it out. It's really good.
Okay, so the track listing for the Lesson Zero soundtrack. There's some good
It's
stuff on
metal?
here.
I don't remember that.
I mean, I wouldn't say full on metal, but there is. Okay, so
It's like Tears for Fears and shit.
LL Cool J. No, but there is some good stuff. And there's Aerosmith is on here. Roy Orbison, which was
Super
actually well, it's about to be. He actually did a song called "Life Fades Away," which is actually co-written by Glenn Danzig.
Whoa.
Yeah, wait for it. Poison's on there.
Oh, definitely metal.
Doing "Rock and Roll All Night" by Kiss.
What?
No, there's a Glenn Danzig song on there. There's a Public Enemy song on there. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, the Bangles, "Hate You Say to Winter," that cover.
That's cool.
So not fully metal, but Glenn Danzig was involved. But some good songs on that.
The
soundtrack.
film is okay. I do recommend the Lesson Zero is Bret Easton Ellis' first novel, and it was a big hit. They made a film. It's got Robert Downey Jr. in it. Okay,
All I have to say, we should probably get into what this episode is. It's been a long intro.
yeah,
It's not really an intro. We want to incorporate the fans, but
dude, we're just riffing, man.
yeah. So one more time, what's the name of that podcast?
Bret Easton Ellis.
Okay.
The Bret Easton Ellis podcast.
Okay, and then Don't Feed the Trolls. Those are our two podcast recommendations this week.
Right. Okay, so Through the Never, man.
Through the Never.
Through the Never, Through the Never, man.
Through the Never Man.
It's a comma.
Or it could be a hybrid of a Pearl Jam song, Through the Nothing Man.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are we cross hibernating? Are we crypto zoologizing?
We're cryptozoologizing this. No, Through the Never, which is a Metallica film.
So this is interesting. So it's essentially a concert film.
Yes.
But they splice in, you add it all up, it's only about 15, 20 minutes of this sort of strange post-apocalyptic
Yeah.
thriller.
Bane-looking guy on a horse.
Right, like
Yeah.
Bane on a horse with a lasso.
Yeah.
Hanging people from street lamps.
Yep.
We got a mysterious bag. We got a willing roadie.
I'm going to go as far, and we can get into this when we talk about the movie, I guess chronologically, but I would say he's more of a runner.
Yeah, he's not a roadie, right?
He first of all, he didn't show any credentials when he walked backstage.
Well, he had Kirk basically saying he's cool.
That's true. Kirk has all access.
Like Kirk knew him.
Kirk knew him, yeah.
Kirk recognized him.
But Lars looked at him like, "What the?
Who's this guy?
Who are you? What are you doing here?"
Yeah, but we'll get into that because I can't wait to.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of ourselves here.
But he does seem like because the like stage manager, production manager guy's like, hey, this is what we pay you for.
Yeah,
We need you to go find this guy in
He's
a
a
truck.
paid runner. Yeah.
Let's do some facts.
Do some facts. I'm sorry. I just rewatched it last night as
Yeah, I did too.
you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm already like rethinking of all these scenes in my head, and
Me too. I can't wait. So I don't know what people think about when we do our facts thing, but I know if I was listening to this, I would like a little burst of facts.
Sure. Give us a burst.
All right. So it was shot in Vancouver and Edmonton in August of 2012, which Vancouver and Edmonton are both beautiful places. Very cool.
Beautiful places. Yeah, that's the live footage, by the way.
From the shows.
Yeah, the
and
shows,
then the actual film shots were L.A.
There was L.A., New York, and I think it might have been Poland, New Jersey. It might have been New Jersey, actually. I remember it was 3 different cities when I was looking up
Where
facts last
Masuki
night.
lives? Was
That's right.
Masuki,
Yeah, Masuki lives, Poland, New Jersey.
Masuki
Yeah.
actually played the paid runner.
Yeah.
Okay, directed by Nimrod Antal.
I love that his name is Nimrod.
Yeah, I do
amazing.
too. It made me giggle.
I totally did.
I literally giggled. Here, and the facts of this are a little bit of a bummer because the film didn't do well. So
It did really bad.
$32 million budget.
Yep.
Which I will say it shows the production value of this film is pretty fucking good.
It's really good.
I mean, I think it's pretty good, and the sound editing is actually phenomenal.
Yeah,
to me.
and it's shot beautifully. Even the concert footage doesn't look like your normal concert
I
film.
agree. I agree. We're going to get into that. I have a lot to say about it because I actually love this. Now, Greg Fidelman was the mixing engineer, which explains a lot about why it sounds so
Because
kick-ass.
this was just after Death Magnetic.
Right.
Yeah.
Which Greg coming into the Metallica fold, to me, that's nothing but just good sauce.
We're big Greg fans.
Love Greg. And what was the show they did? Was it the London show? The day of the the CD release or record release show of Hardwired, they've actually put on YouTube where Greg actually remixed it. And it just sounds...
Is it the House of Van show?
It's the House of Van show.
Yeah, it's like a little skate park.
And dude, it's like, oh my God, if Greg could just mix all of their shows.
Oh, man, yeah.
Not the live stuff, but what they put, they put their live shows out. It's
Yeah.
just like it's not Big Mick. It's like...
It sounds just like, honestly, it sounds like
like
a
a soundboard,
mix.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not great. There's no dialogue or narration other than the production manager and the band.
Yeah. Well, the band's basically on stage stuff.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
Kirk saying like, "Oh, he's cool."
He's cool, yeah.
And then like when shit goes haywire, James is like, "Wait, stop."
Let's stop.
Which
Yeah.
those are some kind of cringy moments.
Yeah.
Okay. They promoted the film at the Detroit Orion Fest when they did the Dahan.
Yeah, Dan, which is
thing.
the actor's last name.
Right. Which I don't. Oh, Dale Dahan. I did write that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even write that.
Yeah, Dale Dahan. Yeah, and that's where I guess they got the idea to create
And-
this fake band.
And that was kind of them promoting the film because maybe they were afraid it wasn't. Who knows? I don't know.
I mean, it was their festival. They can promote whatever they
That's
want,
true.
I guess. And there was a shitload of people there to.
Which kind of sucks too that like both the Orion Fest and Through the Never were kind of like bombs.
Yeah, I wish
like,
I wish
it's a
they
bummer,
did
'cause-
Orion Fest still. I mean,
Me too.
well, we should do an episode on that because I mean, I have a friend that actually went to it when it was in Detroit.
Because they did Atlantic City and Detroit. They did two.
Yeah, they did too. My friend went to the Detroit one when they did the Dahan thing, and they played Kill 'Em All front to back.
I mean, shit, I would love to go to that.
I know.
There's a lot of opinions about why it did or did not fail. The world premiere was at the 2013 Toronto Film Festival, which is pretty cool. Released in IMAX on September 27th, which is the anniversary of Cliff's death, which was intentional.
Yes,
Which
by
the way,
which we'll get into.
We'll get into. Okay, right. So you're with me on that.
I'm with you on
because
that,
we haven't
yes.
talked about it. Okay, it has a 78% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is really good.
It's really good on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, dude, I think the hokey thriller post-apocalypse stuff is kind of falls flat a little bit.
a little bit,
But as a concert
but
film?
it's still. But I would say that all that city footage, all that stuff filmed, the apocalyptic
done
stuff,
really well.
It looks great.
I know.
The shot of all those people hanging, I
it's
was
creepy.
legitimately creeped out.
Yeah,
like,
it's creepy.
ugh.
It's
Yeah.
creepy. That's true. Okay. It was nominated for a Grammy for Best Music Film. It didn't win, but it was nominated.
Cool.
I guess that's one of their 8 nominations. It flopped. It only grossed $3.4 million in the U.S. and I think only $8 million worldwide.
Yeah,
So-
that's definitely a flop.
So they ate
they
it.
lost some out of their wallets. Well, I'm sure they put up all the money for it. So
The soundtrack was nominated for a Grammy for Best Recording Package,
that's cool.
which is pretty cool.
Wasn't it the first IMAX movie to be included in a film festival?
I don't know.
I thought I read that online, like when they went to Sundance with it or something, or maybe it was the Toronto Film Festival.
Okay.
It's on record as and someone correct me if I'm wrong here, but I could have sworn I read this last night that it was the first IMAX movie like shot that way that
Cool.
has been at a film festival.
Very cool. I did not know that. And then the last kind of fact I have is that every record is represented in the set list except for Load and Saint Anger.
Okay.
Which the Saint Anger part doesn't bother me. But Load, it's like, man, it'd be cool to hear like King Nothing or Until It Sleeps or
Yeah.
something.
Well, I mean, I wonder how long those, like, because they actually filmed a concert.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, unless all those people are CGI.
It's not a... Oh, well, I mean, it might have even been several days. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done a 2-hour show and had way more songs and just cut it down to...
Maybe they did, and yeah, they just really picked what worked best for the film.
Yeah.
Because, it's like a 90-minute film. I mean,
Yeah.
That's fine. I understand all that. So, do we want to kind of just go through the film?
Sure, yeah, I think so.
That might be fun.
Yeah. My first thought when the opening scene happens... Or did you have something else before even you see anything? The flag, the blackened flag.
Yeah, they have the Blackened Productions, so they're on their own label now,
Yeah.
and if this movie had done well, it might have opened the door for future films.
Right.
But they have this cool it's like a flag that's on fire. It's blackened.
It's super cool looking.
Like we'll probably never see it again on film.
Yeah,
because the chances of making another movie are so low.
Right.
But I did make a note of that, because there are all these little Metallica nuggets in this.
I know, I love that. It's little Easter eggs kind of thing. Like
Exactly, the film's
love it.
filled with it. The jacket that the main character's wearing, and like the Whiplash sticker on the car.
Yep, yeah. Yeah, even the opening scene when it's like that, like kind
It's like
of
panning into the city.
drone footage or whatever it is, or however they filmed it. There's like, it has like the LED marquee kind of thing of the Metallica logo
Sold
says sold out. But the thing I laughed about right off the bat was when that kind of like metalhead pulls up in his car, like,
Yeah.
and the parking lot's empty,
Yeah.
and he's like there for the show.
Oh, yeah.
And it's nighttime.
Yeah.
Like the parking lot should be full, unless they're loading in the night before.
Yeah,
which
I
is
think
very
it was probably
possible.
like night before.
But maybe he was just that early, and he was just like, yes. And
well, he yells out, "First in, last out, motherfucker!"
okay, first in, last out. So maybe he thought, okay, I'm going to show up the day they're loading in. I'm going to be the first one there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I thought that was cool. Then he like awkwardly gets on top of his
He's like
car.
he's kind of a chubby dude. He tries to jump on the roof of his car. That's pretty good. Like, so if we're talking like 2 minutes in, and I remember the first time I saw it, because there's like some people don't like it, and
Sure.
I mean, it's definitely not fucking Taxi Driver, but
Yeah.
at this point for me as a fan, I was like, all right, because that's kind of a funny, like, I was like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm ready to do this.
Yeah.
And then so we see Tripp, our main character,
Yeah.
who like shows up to the venue, and I love James's cameo because
I love James's cameo. Oh, here's another quick question before we get to James's cameo. Tripp shows up on his skateboard.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, they show him falling too.
Yeah,
Which
he
is pretty
falls right
great.
in a puddle.
Yeah.
I've been there. I skate, so. But then he like skates down into the eventually down into the like underground parking
Which
structure,
would never happen.
Where his van is. Like, why wasn't he out?
Why do you need a van when you had a perfectly good skateboard?
I agree, because you can get there faster. No, but I can only assume him being a runner that he was.
He was like on a break or whatever.
He was on a
like-
break and like skated
didn't
around
need
the
him
parking
yet.
lot. Yeah, but when he goes down into the parking structure,
And they're like the trucks are loading, and you can see the binge and purge like road cases and shit.
Yeah, like my box set. It's over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, James's cameo and like in a hot rod, and he's got his sunglasses on. I thought that
But
was
it blows out this really surreal fire, and then
Yeah.
the way James looks at him, it sets this tone where you're like, oh, this film's gonna be like, there's like a lot of tension in the film.
yes, definitely.
It's an ominous vibe.
It is,
It's
yeah.
almost like a horror movie, even.
yeah, kind of.
Which probably maybe Kirk had some influence in that, but
He may have,
James
yeah.
gives him this like very strange kind of knowing look.
Yeah, like I know who
He
you are.
kind of has shades on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's up?
Well, he fully has shades on.
And then they kind of 1-2 punch you.
Sorry, you missed my joke.
Wait, what do you? Wait, what?
You said he kind of has shades on. I said he fully has shades on. One lens missing.
I guess you can't kind of have shades on. They're either on or off.
Well, you could kind of have.
Oh, wait, did
them
he
on
do
your
one of these things though? Like
No, he definitely didn't lift his glasses.
like
up.
you're looking at a chick or something like.
He kind of did like he
Which, by the way, I'm wearing like actual glasses, and I
Yeah.
just lifted them at Ethan. Like
I think it's true, Clint.
pretty sexy.
So sexy.
Okay, so he's just full
No,
on.
he
wearing-
gives him like just like a mean Hetfield look. Like he's
Yeah.
got his hand on the wheel and kind of gives him a little.
But then, like, that like James is in the cars and stuff, so it's like
Yeah.
James's personality's in that. So then they 1-2 punch you. So then on his way into the actual entrance, Kirk is standing there with a guitar that looks like it's been smashed and blood's coming out of it,
which is pretty cool.
God damn it, I loved it.
I loved it too. And he's right by like a door that goes probably to an elevator or something.
Right.
And there's blood on the ground and like,
And he does, and Tripp doesn't have credentials, so the guy's like, whoa, and Kirk's like, no, he's cool.
he's cool
Not the best acting, but okay for Kirk Hammett.
for sure.
He's not an actor. He's a guitar
I mean,
player.
he's also holding a bloody guitar.
But I just love that, like, oh, like the guitar's broken and it's bleeding, like it's like alive. Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, shit, man.
I thought that was cool.
Then we kind of
Then we get inside the venue. We're in the arena. Tripp is walking backstage.
and you feel it and hear it first because the sound editing's so good.
Yeah, you hear some low end, and then all of a sudden, like the camera, or it's special effects, of course, starts like shaking and rumbling, and the camera pans to, I guess it would be your right as you're watching it, and there's this room with like stacks of
like all the walls are just stacks.
and it looks almost like a cartoon. And there's Rob Trujillo doing his crab walk,
Signature crab
playing
walk.
like in low B, like do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And that was like, I remember watching it, like
I know.
I was like,
You know
I
what
just
that
shook my
moment
head.
is? That moment's the first signal that this might not be good.
Very true.
That's the first time, because until then you're like, man, this looks good.
Or is that the signal that it makes you realize Rob can't act. So they're like, just do your crab walk thing, man.
Just be you.
Yeah, just go in that room. We're going to put some CGI amps behind you. Just do your crab walk.
I will say the one redeeming factor of it is that it is surreal looking. Because it does look otherworldly. It's not like he's just in a room jamming. Like
but it's also the only thing that looks like that in the whole movie to me.
Yeah,
like
because it's kind of CGI'd.
It's like it's a little cartoony.
I agree. It's the first misstep of the film, and unfortunately, it's like 3 minutes in.
Yeah, but at
really
least
sad.
it wasn't like, they elaborated on that and went in there and Rob started talking or something. It was just him doing his crab walk, and it had a creepy sound, but that's,
So then back on the right path here, I do think this sort of cross side-eyed look that Lars gives him when he walks by is good.
I thought that was great.
Because it's really creepy and like...
He looks back at him like, I know
like
that
he
guy,
knows him, right? Like
but
there's this...
I don't trust him.
What I think this film really did well is like there actually is like this sort of, without saying a single fucking word, there's like tension.
Yes, there is, yeah.
Where you're like, who what's going on?
Yeah.
It feels like something bigger is happening.
Yeah.
Mixed with sort of the excitement of a show that's that excitement.
Yeah.
So there's all this drama in it.
I forgot to mention, right before you see Trujillo in his base cave, right when Trip walks in the building, you see a bald guy, big, jacked up looking guy, security guy.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was you. No, back to real life, that was the security guard that when I told my story about going to the Metallica show in Brisbane, Australia, that was the security guy that my buddy was friends with that like got us into the show and brought us
So
backstage.
you think
and
that
stuff.
like all the extras were their actual crew?
I know certain
Oh,
ones
wow.
were, yeah. Like, that was the first guy, like right when Trip walks in the building in that scene, and I'm blanking on the guy's name. I apologize if you're listening.
His name is Bald Guy.
Bald guy.
Yeah.
And he is like, I mean, you see him in person, he's like made of stone. The
Yeah.
guy is ripped. But right when that guy he's just walking by, Trip walks right past him, and I was like, that's the dude I hung out with,
That's cool that they put their own crew in there.
Side note, when I saw Metallica in Brisbane, I don't think I mentioned this before, me and a couple buddies who are in this rockabilly band here in Nashville, a couple years back, maybe 5-6 years ago, recorded a bunch of Metallica songs to the style of Johnny Cash.
I've heard it. It's really good.
Yeah. And I put all those songs on a thumb drive and had it in my pocket just in case. And at the end of the night, I gave it to that security guy. I said, if there's a chance you can give this to James, that'd be cool.
Oh, I wonder if he did.
I have no idea. I will never know.
We might find out one day.
Maybe.
I'll call James tomorrow and ask him.
Would you?
Problem solved.
Dude, thanks, man.
Another like ominous thing they do is when he's walking through the hallway, I think it's right after he crosses paths with Lars, like these sparks fly.
Yeah.
Where you kind of immediately are like, oh, it's not all's right.
Yeah,
at
something's
this
gonna go
show,
wrong. Yeah, and if you've ever toured and you're walking backstage in that kind of area,
You don't ever, if you see sparks fly, it's bad.
it's
news.
very bad, yeah.
There's someone going, why the fuck were there sparks flying? We need to solve that problem now.
Because usually there's nothing electronic that the band brings
Why would there
in
be?
those hallways.
Exactly.
Usually it's dressing room cases with all their clothes and stuff.
So camera follows Trip right into one of the like openings in the arena, and then it's an empty arena, and then they start playing Ecstasy of Gold, and there's a time lapse of the arena.
Well, right before
up.
that, the production manager or whatever comes up to him and says like, "We need you to get this thing." Doesn't he mention it to him? Oh, no. He says, "Hey, stick close by because
So he goes by, we need you for something.
we
right.
need you for something that the band needs."
And he's like, cool. And he's wearing a like Through the Never jacket, which is cool, like the logo of Through the Never.
Yeah.
Or wait, no, he's wearing a Through the Never shirt.
He's got a Damage
Ink.
Yeah.
A Damage Justice or Damage Ink.
It's the damage. It's the back of
the skull.
Yeah, I've got that
on his
shirt,
leather
yes.
jacket. I think are you wearing it right now? Look at you.
Well, no.
Is it that skull? Ethan's wearing the Damage Ink shirt right now.
It's. Oh wait! Now I'm blanking on the design.
I think
on the
it's
back.
that skull.
No, it's not this one on the back. It's the Harvester of Sorrow one, maybe. Fuck.
Oh.
Anyways, whatever.
we're
someone
fired.
emails and correct us because we're wrong.
Which, by the way, you didn't mention it, but I'm also wearing a Metallica shirt.
I know, it's awesome.
Okay.
We both came committed tonight.
We did. All right, so the Ecstasy of Gold, I like the time lapse because it sort of captures that feeling of like when a venue starts to fill up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so lights go out, which I love that stage, dude. I guess it's just the World Magnetic stage, but it's that kind of like H.
It's really cool, and it's all like LED screens.
It's a lit up
underneath.
stage, yeah.
Oh
Dude.
yeah, it's great. I don't think they had that when I saw them, but they may have. But
I think it's the World Magnetic stage.
I was on the ground. I couldn't see the top of the stage. So
Were you on the rail?
I was basically next to Big Mick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not like behind the board or anything, but I was behind a barricade where it was just like probably their guests.
You were just like on Big Mick's shoulders.
I was on his shoulders while he was mixing. I was giving him pointers.
He's strong.
Yeah.
So then we get into the first song, because this actually essentially is a concert film.
Yeah.
Creeping Death.
Creeping Death.
And it's pretty much flawless.
It's awesome. And I love that LED stage at one point during Creeping Death, it starts to look like blood's running down it.
Ooh.
It's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping, or at least I thought when that was going on, I thought, well, that would seem more of an appropriate graphic on the stage for like Kill 'Em All because of the Kill 'Em All artwork, but still death, whatever.
Blood, death.
Regardless, it looked badass.
And then so to get back into the film, during the sort of big die chant guy, we see our runner, Trip,
Yeah.
doing die, and then he gets interrupted by the production manager to say, we need you to go find this truck and get this bag. It's very important to the band. Go now. And as he like leaves the venue, and I keep mentioning the sound editing because it's like he leaves and you sort of hear the sound the way you would hear it in a parking lot.
Right. The way you, as you're exiting the building, you hear
Which is a
get
small
quieter.
detail, but it's really effective in like the immersion aspect of a film.
Yes, definitely.
All right, so moving right along. So when he says like, we need you to go get this thing out of the truck, and he just hands him a gas can.
A gas can, yeah.
No questions asked.
My first thought was, okay, first of all, why does Metallica have like a box truck? A box truck.
Biggest metal band in the world has a box truck.
A box truck with like an M on the back of it. and it ran out of gas.
Yeah. Why can't Metallica, the biggest band in the world, make sure that their vehicles have gas?
Or they have this bag that's so important to them. Why isn't it like traveling with them? Why isn't it in a road case that's like traveling like on their private jet? Or
don't say it if you know it, but do you know what's in the bag?
Yes.
All right. Okay. We'll save it.
Yeah. It's Ron McGovney and Lars's St. Anger snare.
It's like the real Dave Mustaine that they trapped and
Yeah.
the fake Dave Mustaine's like the Paul McCartney theory.
Yeah.
All right. They give him a gas can. Then we see For Whom the Bell Tolls, which is killer, and they have those
killer.
cool bells on the LED floor.
Yeah.
And then you get the classic. Like Rob has really sort of like honed down that crab walk just for bell tolls now, which has been a good evolution of his vibe. Did you
Yeah.
just pour another drink during the episode?
What?
That's unprecedented.
Sorry.
That's
Is
never
it
happened.
unprecedented? You want some more?
Yeah. Can you pour me some?
Yeah, I mean,
It's unprecedented. Who said that?
some asshole. I don't know.
Some clown, some orange person. So then we get Fuel, which Fuel. I mean, I'm a believer
love
of Fuel.
Fuel.
I think Fuel kicks ass. I'm glad it's a staple.
I'm sorry. Do you want a mixer? That's just straight.
No, I'm
that's
cool.
just straight vodka.
No, it's cool. That's cool. It's not just what it's my passion
Oh yeah,
fruit.
yeah. By the way, side note: this episode is sponsored by Smirnoff Passion Fruit Vodka, brought to you by Clint Wells.
I was in the liquor store on the way here, and I thought, you know what? Let's treat ourselves.
You know what? I like to party. I do.
I like passion. I like fruit.
Yeah.
I'll get the passion fruit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get Bell Tolls and Fuel. But Fuel is a great song to sort of introduce this car crash moment, right? So
Great
he's in
idea,
the
yeah.
van, he misses a red light and pulls on the road. He thinks
Well, hang on. He this is what 2012. He's looking at like an old school map, or as I like to call it,
He's reading
an analog map. He's got like a crumpled up map, like a tourist would have in a new city.
Totally.
Driving his
like
van.
a subway map in New York.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say during Fuel, though, is when they lower those death magnetic coffins that
Yes.
are like LED lights, too.
And there's people like if you're like seated up high.
There's like a dude trapped in them
Yeah,
and shit.
it's so
God,
creepy.
production value is so cool. Like,
Yes.
it's a bummer. The ticket prices for these shows are high, but there's a lot of production value.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I mean, like
That shit costs a lot of money.
if you have really good production like that, stuff that's going to blow people's minds, it costs a lot of money, especially when you get into that LED stuff. When you're getting into custom stuff up in trusses that are on moving motors that are coming down and rotating and all that stuff. It's not cheap.
And take it from us, we're in the biz.
Hey, we're so in the biz. I mean, so much so that Clint can afford passion fruit vodka.
How do you think I afforded this $12.99 Smirnoff passion fruit vodka
Exactly.
from our local East Nashville package store? So but he also, while he's driving, before he has a car crash, he sees like these bloody handprints. It's like ominous. I love just all the like all this ominous like riot blood shit. They just never explain what it is. It's just
I
there.
kind of dig it though. It's just
I do too. It's like it's like a big question mark.
Yep.
Right. Which is what art is supposed to do. By the way, pretentious rant over. But he has that good art's supposed to ask questions, right?
I know. But
You
pretentious
know that.
rant over.
Pretentious rant done. I spare you guys my. I was unfortunately giving my wife this spiel right before I got here, and just her eyes were like glazed over. She just did not care. They do this kind of dream sequence when he like falls underwater.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Which is really cool.
It's cool. I didn't really. It was still another question mark, but it, again, shot beautifully. Looked really great.
Because the car crash scene is like this big slow motion scene, which I thought was shot so well.
It looks so good.
And then it sort of ends with him plunging underwater.
And I like that the last rollover of the car, the van's upside down, but it's basically the shot is upside down, so it looks like the glass is going up.
Yeah, it's
I
like
thought that
real
was
trippy.
a cool, nice detail that they that somebody decided to edit in there.
So then the band plays "Ride the Lightning," which is, if you've heard our "Ride the Lightning" episode, it's my favorite record, one of my favorite songs. It's so cool that they included that in this film.
How stoked would you have been to be at one of those shows and have the actual chair come
Chair
down
with the Tesla coils.
Oh, it's so cool.
I mean, dude, I'd be so stoked.
Yeah.
Because that's a treat. I mean, they don't do that much.
Right.
They're not busting out "Ride the Lightning."
Yeah,
it wasn't exactly a big hit for them. The title track.
Right.
But this is odd though, and I don't know what is up with this. But they do the whole like the mic goes out and James, which
maybe it was
eerie foreshadowing of the 2017 Grammys.
Exactly.
But
when I remember watching it, thinking, is this part of the movie or is it like an actual mistake
Me
that
too.
is kept in?
It's like the kind of cunning stunts thing, right?
But yeah, well, yeah. I think we'll get into that because they do a whole thing in this movie that was from that tour.
I think it's just to build tension.
Yeah. Well, it's also like the first when Tripp walks to the hall and all the sparks happen. Like something's going wrong.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Right. That is what it is.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
just another little.
They're reinforcing
hint.
that theme that not all is right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What they should have done is halfway through a song, all of a sudden the snare drum just goes king, 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 king. And Lars is like, "What's happening? My snare drum sounds like a trash can." King, king, king. That would have been
like
a nice
one of
little...
the things that could have gone wrong is just the entire Saint Anger record.
Yeah.
King, king. Yeah, he's like calling his tech. But James kind of like looks at his like tech and is like mad and
Yeah, he like pushes the mic
points
down.
at it
Yeah.
and it's kind of eerie.
He did a good job.
Yeah, he did. I think so. I had to make a note of this because this is my homeboy and it's one of my favorite solos. Great fucking Kirk Hammett solo in Ride the Lightning.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's really good.
God, I love it, man. Then we go back to the car crash scene. He grabs the doll. So we're starting to see the significance with the doll.
Yeah.
Because he grabs the gas can and the doll. Got to have that doll.
Gotta have the doll.
Who knows why? And amazingly, he sort of just walks away from this brutal crash.
Yeah.
Just his ear's bleeding. There's
Obviously
a
not
bleeding
wearing
ear.
a seatbelt.
Not wearing that seatbelt probably saved his life because he was able to bounce around the car like fucking
Flail
putty.
around, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, gets out of the car just fine.
Just in case a little bleeding ear.
Yeah, just a little bloody. It's
Your
fine.
brain's bleeding.
I mean, he was just listening to Metallica.
Was he? Well, was not
in the arena
in
when
the
they
arena.
started, yeah.
He had to split during
top of the
creeping
show.
death. Yeah. Then we get one.
Yeah.
We start seeing the sort of we hear the like bullet ricochet and
I love in this film how long the war intro is. And
pretty long.
I forgot how much pyro they did on that tour.
Well, they don't do pyro anymore.
Right. Well, and but I think it was probably over exaggerated for this movie.
Yeah, maybe.
But there was and it
A lot
shows
of pyro
that
and fuel.
And there's no there's no band members on stage when all this is going off. You can see like Lars's drum kit's empty and stuff. But like just shit coming out from every part of the stage exploding. I thought that was really exciting. It was a good setup
During
for
one.
During one, yeah. It was a little bit longer than they normally have that intro.
And I think just because we're kind of dealing with the film in general, we may be glossing over these performances, but every performance of the songs is almost as good as, I mean, the concert footage is worth the price of the ticket.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I agree.
It's
Yeah.
a great concert.
It is.
So during one, they kind of like, it's when you first see like, you see like the horse that a cop would ride by, and like the cop's like being dragged by the horse. The cop's dead.
Oh, it's so creepy.
We were like, whoa, what the fuck? It's a cool image, but it's
a cool image.
It's like a little.
It kind of sets
over
up
the
for like
top.
what comes
true.
up, you know.
So they do Memory Remains, where they bring
which is a great version of it, I think.
dude. Memory Remains kicks ass.
The whole outro of Marianne Faithfull's melody and the whole crowd singing. I mean, even Lars gets off his drum kit and is like getting them going.
Because it's just a great hook.
And you know, when we go to that Atlanta show and they play that song, you and I are going to be arm in arm yelling that shit.
Dude.
Well, we're going to be yelling everything, so.
But that is a moment in particular we will
It's a
relish.
great moment, yeah.
But that's when they bring out these like big trusses that start sparking.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like you're like cunning stunt stuff.
Something's going wrong.
But nothing really happens. It's just like sparks happen, and you can see they intentionally film James like looking at it like, what was that?
Yeah.
They do a good job of just kind of building this
do.
really subtle tension.
And if this was real life and a real life show and it was any big band and they're playing, all of a sudden sparks flew from up above you, you'd be like, hang on, off stage, like something's wrong.
Oh, well, we'll get to that when shit really goes down.
Yeah.
And like Robert's just like on his knees on stage. I'm like, no. He would have had like his
they
people.
all kind of get on the ground, like an earthquake
Well, that's
drill or
what you would
something.
do in an emergency. But if you're Metallica, you have a whole team of people throwing a radio, a
But
fucking.
if you're on stage and like trusses start falling, you're not just going to sit there on your knees.
No,
you're going to get the fuck off the stage.
You're going to get off the deck immediately.
Yes.
Which, by the way,
the deck. You were going to say that too. Go ahead. I'll let you have your moment.
in the biz, we refer to the stage as the deck.
Yeah, man. And sometimes there's a deck in a shed.
You can have a deck within a shed with a kabuki.
Oh, man.
Dude, the image of me that you gave me as a gift of me playing in front of Zach, but with the kabuki right on my back as if like my cape,
Yes.
just my giant cape.
The most
That will live with
gigantic
me.
cape.
That will fucking live with me forever.
By the way, that can be your Halloween costume this year. Just
I just have to get a
30 feet.
$6,000 kabuki.
30 feet of cape behind you.
My wife's like, "What do you want to be this year?" I'm like, "I want to be this superhero with a kabuki cape. It's going to cost like $6,000.
Yeah.
just to rent it from SIR."
It's gonna be worth it though. Don't worry.
So then they kind of show this post-apocalyptic ruin, and they play the Rome intro.
Yeah.
But they don't play Rome; they just play the.
It's similar to how they do Battery and stuff like that, and Blackened.
Well,
just
it's
the
more than
intro.
that. It's a little. It's not just the. They actually go to the.
Yeah, they don't come in till the ba 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 ba.
Well, they don't even play it. They just.
that's right, it's just the intro.
It's just like oddly, but like the.
No, it's played live in the concert.
No.
And what song am I thinking of? Because I remember Lars starts the snare kind of slower than the tempo.
Because I had to like change my notes. I was like, oh, Rome intro. They're going to do Rome. Then I wrote Rome. And then they don't do Rome. They actually. So then they start showing a mob riot with police, that big standoff.
That's right. That was rad.
Where they're doing the ga.
Yeah, the police are hitting their shields.
But that's the only Rome we get. And it wasn't actually played live. It's like, it's cool, but it's like weird.
What song am I thinking of? I don't know. We'll get to it.
So then they do Cyanide.
Yeah.
Which I like Cyanide, but it's the weakest, in my opinion, the weakest part of the set.
It's the weakest part of the set. I still like the song in relation to the whole Death Magnetic record.
Me too.
But
it's like, that was almost, or that was just your life. Might have been a better fit.
yeah. Yeah, probably. But the imagery of all those cops like hitting their shields.
Oh, that's great.
In time.
That's great.
Again, building tension.
And then the riders kind of start throwing rocks and shit. It's just like, oh fuck.
And trips in the middle, like, what's? I just need
I'm
to
just
find
trying
this
to get a
truck.
bag for Metallica.
They just need a leather bag, and I've got a can of gas.
It's
We'd
just
imagine
me.
that's what he sounded like if he actually had dialogue. I'm
Yeah.
just here to help Metallica.
Look, it's just me and my gas can.
I got my doll.
All of this is in Vancouver, but he's suddenly from Alabama.
Yeah.
Well, I just got my doll here.
Or he's just over there, just trying to get some gas.
Hey, what's this all about?
All about.
Which, we have so many listeners in Canada.
We do have a lot of Canadian listeners, and let's go ahead and apologize right now. Those are the worst Canadian accents. The only thing I can really say is a boot.
A boot.
But I don't know. We can. I was about to go on a tangent about accents in Canada and how.
Really? Is there a
regions-
tangent to be had about accents in Canada?
Well, I was just going to say, I don't feel that like Vancouver has crazy harsh accents. It's like when you start heading east and then it gets a little more a boot. It's like when you get up to like, North Dakota and like Minnesota and stuff.
Yeah. Killer tangent.
Killer tangent, bro.
Man.
I thought you were just going to like, spitball with me there. You've been to Canada.
Just left
Come
you
on.
hanging.
We love Canada, by the way.
Dude.
We love Tim Hortons.
Dude, I love Toronto. I love Montreal. I love Manitoba. I love Winnipeg. I love Vancouver. I fucking love Canada.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
It's a really good time for us to consider maybe hopping up there.
Would love to.
Okay, so then we got our dude, our Bane on the horse who hangs the rioter through the street.
That
lamp.
was so creepy, so bitchin', well shot, and just it kind of made me like sit back, like even after watching it, you know, I rewatched it. You know, you kind of forget little details. And I'm like, oh god, like the sound effects, everything where he like pulls that rope and hangs the dude up there. It was strong.
Did a little pee-pee come out?
I think a little bit did. At my age, you have no idea. Torben watched it with me last night. We had a great time. We made popcorn, and
we're gonna have Torben and his urologist on at some point.
We're gonna have Torben on talking about cryptozoology.
Crypto-urology?
Crypto-urology.
All right. God.
Moving on.
So, and then so he kind of gets away from that kind of Lone Ranger demon guy.
Yeah.
And then he sees that all the rioters have been hung from lampposts, which is super eerie. Super cool.
It was so eerie. It was very like Walking Dead kind of just, you know, that post-apocalyptic like.
Right. Wasteland. Like.
Yeah.
All right. So then... other than the Ride the Lightning, another one of my favorite moments of this whole thing is they start building the Lady Justice statue.
Gosh, that was so cool. I would love to see that in person.
And they're kind of built, and then they play "And Justice for All," which again is like, for them to have done Ride the Lightning and Justice for All is just like hitting all my buttons for this band.
Yeah.
Because those are two of just my favorites.
And I love that it was being built while and then they started the song.
But even to continue building tension, at one point, James... While the stagehands are building it, James looks up and is like, no, move it. Like, he even directs them.
Right. Which wouldn't happen normally.
Which I was worried the whole time. The first time I saw the film, I was worried that it was all going to fall.
Yeah. And what happens next?
Well, does it fall?
Yes.
But it falls on purpose, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, no, but I think you're...
Did I miss something here?
Well, no, in the... at the end of the song, like it crumbles and it falls, and
but that's not like they're not like freaked out about that. That's kind of supposed to happen
really
even in the film.
But I think it kind of adds to that tension again, like.
And then the fragments of it are there throughout the rest of the show.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah, it's great.
And dude, they kill that song Justice.
Well, and that's also kind of what they did on the Justice for All tour.
Like
they
all
tore
that
stuff like came down.
Oh,
and
okay,
stuff,
right
yeah.
on.
I didn't go to that tour, but I've seen footage.
Yeah. I did make a note that during Injustice for All, James is playing that black snake bite.
Yeah.
Which, dude, I'm just fucking dying to buy that.
Yeah, you should get one.
I might have to get a divorce to do it, but I'm wanting to buy it, and because I'm not wanting to get the LTD one, I want the ESP one.
Yeah, you got to aim high. I mean,
which is like $4,000.
Yeah, I mean, we don't fuck around here.
No, we're not playing little kid games here.
No LTD shit.
No. So Trip ends up finding the truck because of the M logo on it.
There's the Metallica truck.
There it is. It's got the M on it,
and it's not like a semi truck. It's like a budget rental car.
Yeah, it's like a fucked up like van. It's a box truck.
It's a U-Haul truck,
and the driver's in there like wigged out, like traumatized.
Yeah,
I guess because of the
probably from Bane.
From Bane, his name's Bane now, isn't it?
It has to be. He looks like Bane to me.
So he grabs a brown leather bag and he looks in it and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Can I add a note real quick? He looks like Bane from the terrible Batman movie that I think, what was his name? Was it Bruckheimer? Did he do those ones?
Bruckheimer.
What was
not Christopher Nolan?
No. The old Batman movies. Like there was the Tim. I was supposed to say Tim Horton. The Tim Horton Batman movies.
The Canadian.
No, there was the two Tim Burton ones, and then
Joel Schumacher.
Joel Schumacher.
Oh, those are awful. He did Batman and Robin and Batman Forever.
Yeah. So I think in Batman and Robin, the only redeeming factor in that movie was Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy.
I don't know, man. I like Arnold.
Sure. I like Arnold. I like his one-liners. Chill. But Bane is in it.
Yeah.
That Bane that's what reminded me of this guy. So let's just say
same
he's
guy,
the
by
Shoemaker.
The way. It's the same
Bane.
actor.
Yeah, it's that guy. He's like, finally another role.
25 years later. Where are we at? Okay, so he shows up. Driver's in. Oh wait, you wanted to say the. Okay, you derailed me when
what did I
wanting
wanna
to
say?
say that he was like the Batman guy.
That's all I was trying to say. He was like the shoemaker band.
So Trip finds the truck, and then like the only thing in the truck obviously is a brown bag, and he looks in the brown bag, and it's like Pulp Fiction. It's like he sees the
He
forbidden,
sees something.
right?
sees it.
But he's so taken aback that he like sits back, you know,
Right.
in awe. Okay, and what we come to find out is that was the bag that Cliff had on the Puppets tour,
Yes.
which
So
that's not a
the-
total spoiler.
So that's like that's the actual bag,
Probably not in the film.
or maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I maybe
I mean, what I read online, after
that was the bag in the film.
what I read was it was the bag that Cliff had on the Puppets tour.
So then they go into Master of Puppets.
Yes.
Not a lot to say about it. It's a great version.
Yeah,
They have those white like hologram crosses.
those are awesome.
Oh my God, it's so
well. They're
fucking
actual
cool.
like
Well, some of them are real, but some of them
tangible
are
and
actually
then-
holograms.
Yeah, it looks so cool when they're slowly coming up out from the stage. Ugh.
So then we go back to Trip. He sees a dude waving at him,
Yeah, kind of like help me.
and he's like, "What's this?" And then a bunch of riders rush him, and then we see Bane on the horse
Yeah.
again.
Well, there's that cool shot too, right before you see all the riders show up, where it shows the back of the guy's head and there's like blood on
Blood,
it,
yeah.
and you know, obviously, it's that guy's not your friend,
He's like the Walking Dead guy.
pretty much. Yeah,
He's like a zombie. We got zombies.
Kind of, yeah.
This is a horror film.
it's a horror film. Yeah, there's people hanging. There's Bane.
There's Rob crab walking in a room.
Yeah, zombie crab.
So then they sort of corner him, and what does he do? Finally, we realize the purpose of the gas can.
Yes,
You just douse yourself with it,
I thought that was
set
bitching.
yourself on fire. It's pretty cool.
It was just like
I mean, it's
kind of
silly.
in flames, but all the
kind of
riders
ridiculous.
were taken back. Like, wait a second,
They were like,
what's
"Wait,
happening?
this guy means business, man."
Yeah, he puts his bandana over his face, puts a hood up.
Because the bandana is going to protect the fire
Of
from
course it is,
burning
yeah.
your face off.
Oh yeah. Why would they not have played Fight Fire with Fire right there?
And so that's when we kind of get that intro to Battery,
Yeah.
the kind of cool. All right, then we get actual Battery, which sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, James's down picking in Battery just
Yeah, he's so
blows
good,
my
yeah.
fucking mind. Then we get the dream sequence, the watery thing again during the "Are you alive?"
Yeah. It was after Trip gets like beaten down.
Right, he kind of tries to fight his way through the riot,
Yeah.
and he kind of succeeds,
Did a
but then
pretty good job.
He does a good job for a man on fire,
Definitely.
which is literally the first time I've ever said that sentence. Hey, he did a good job for a man on fire.
Yeah, pretty good job.
He gets beat down, and then we kind of don't know what happens to him. Then he sort of wakes up. He comes. Oh no! Then they do Nothing Else Matters,
Yeah.
which is pretty standard. Kirk does the intro now, which we talked about on our Black Album intro,
don't love
episode.
it. Yeah.
And by the way, this is kind of a time when it's rumored that Kirk and James weren't that cool with each other.
Yeah.
Which you have a story about that, I think. The photo shoot where they couldn't be near each other.
I don't know if I have that story.
Well, you told me that story.
There's no way I told you that story.
Yeah.
No. When did I tell you this?
Like the last time we made an episode. There's like a
couldn't-
photo shoot around a certain time where they were at odds so much they couldn't even be at the same photo shoot at the same time. You told me this story. You're spacing on it because of the passion fruit. But when James finally comes up to do the, when James finally comes in,
He does the
yeah.
trying to take the focus
Yeah,
off the
yeah.
fact that I can't remember the story I told you.
But he gives Kirk a look that to me I'm projecting into it. He gives him this kind of like not jammy where buds look.
Right.
Anyway, not to talk shit, whatever. That's all speculative. So they do Nothing Else Matters, and then my note on that is like, why can't one of them play a guitar with a Bigsby on that song?
I know.
So they can do that.
little dive.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's awesome.
Because Kirk, I will say, in a
They
badass
do it on
move,
the record.
Kirk plays a Les Paul custom, which Kirk plays a Les Paul custom on Faded Black too. I love when he does that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But one of them needs like a big ass Gretsch or like
Yeah.
a 335 or something. Anyway,
Something with a Bigsby,
so then they finish Nothing Else Matters, standard fare, great James solo, blah blah blah.
of course.
Then we get Inner Sandman, and Trip wakes up like on a rooftop, all bloodied. No explanation how he got there. The mob delivered him to the rooftop,
Apparently, yeah.
and
Still has the doll.
well, the doll has come to life.
Yes.
We have an animated doll now.
Animated doll,
We have
which is a little creepy looking.
Well, we have jumped the shark.
Yep.
The doll's moving around. We got Bane again on the horse. He
Bane
lassos
shows up.
him. He drags him around. But then Trip gets the sledgehammer
Yeah.
and he fucking hits the floor and it causes like the power.
Well, he hits him first, and that's how he gets out of the noose.
Right.
And then Bane like does a little lap around the parking structure.
He takes
the
a lap.
roof. Yeah, takes a lap. You got to burn some.
Gather his strength.
Got to burn some cows. Turns around to like come back for him.
Hey man, do you mind if I take a quick lap? I had a cheeseburger for lunch.
1 second. Yeah.
I'll be right back to send you into hell with me.
Yeah. But then, Tripp starts smacking the ground with that thing.
Which is cool because it's like affecting the show.
It's affecting the show and the skyscraper behind him where all the windows shatter.
Oh yeah, the whole city crumbles.
Literally, the whole city crumbles except for the top of the parking structure they're on and Metallica's show.
Except for the very thing he's striking.
Yeah.
But the whole city.
Yeah, there's like a little crack in the ground.
Well, it does rip the rider to shreds.
It does.
Which is a great little moment.
Yeah.
He like turns the shreds on him. And that's when everything goes like haywire at the Met show.
Yes.
Rhodey catches fire.
Things start falling. Truss is falling.
And then James is Oscar winning.
Yeah. No,
Wait.
Stop.
Wait, stop. Wait a minute. And then he like goes and checks on the guy.
Yeah.
And then I just love how like literally 50 seconds have passed and he's like, everyone okay? He's like asked 30,000 people if they're okay.
You guys are fine? Okay.
It's a collective, yeah. He's like, well, the two guys got hurt, but they're okay. And
should we keep playing?
We can keep playing. We don't need all this stuff. Let's get some amps up here. And there's like a scene of James being like, come on, guys, get these amps up here.
Yeah.
I'm like, give him a fucking minute, dude.
Give him a second.
God damn. Because the premise is that it's a spur of the moment thing.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, guys, it's been 2.5 seconds. Come on.
I can guarantee you, as a touring musician and / guitar tech, if somebody caught fire on stage, you wouldn't.
Show's over.
The show's over. You're not
sure
going to be
over.
like, hey, let's take 50 seconds and then get a couple combo amps up here
Exactly.
and finish the show.
Guys, everything's cool. Two of our trusted family road members got third-degree burns. One of the guys' faces got burnt off entirely, but he's going to live. Let's get some combo amps up here.
Yeah, let's take a minute, literally 1 minute, and then we'll continue the show. But it is a cool moment after that.
But it's basically cunning stunts. It's
Yes.
like they were like, look, we're going to make a movie. It's going to be a huge hit. Obviously, it wasn't.
I wonder why they decided to throw that tour trick in there.
Because I think they thought, well, Cunning Stunts was a fan video for our fans. This movie might actually be a hit.
Yeah.
And that Cunning Stunts thing was cool, man. When
Maybe
they do the
they
whole,
thought-
do the whole like pulling the light bulb,
Right.
just them with combo amps, and James goes like, oh, "This reminds us of what it was like when we did Kill 'Em All."
Right.
And then they fucking end the show, which is I think is so killer. Not with Seek and Destroy, with fucking Kill the Lights. Or
Kill the lights.
that's the second time I've done this. I
Kill
blame the alcohol.
lights. Dun, 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 dun.
They end the show with Hit the Lights.
Yes. No, it's a great moment, and I think acting aside and all that stuff, seeing them on stage in a tight little knit circle with a couple half stacks and Lars,
It's
and
one of my
everyone's-
favorite moments.
and it's just like floodlights on them.
Yeah.
I think it looks great.
I mean, even just the metaphor of it, of like, this is how it all started. This is how we're going to end it. There's no lasers and pyro. It's just four dudes playing songs with combo amps.
Totally. No, I thought
It's
it was
classy,
a great
man.
ending. It is classy.
I'm going to use the classy. I'm gonna pull out classy. It's classy.
So let's not forget that Tripp makes it back to the venue
Finally makes it by the venue.
with with bag in hand.
So he gets the venue. Venue's empty. All the gear's still on stage.
It's
Because I guess the crew just were like, fuck it. We'll deal
Well,
with
let's
it tomorrow.
assume that there was a night number 2.
Right. But even night number 2, you're putting shit over the gear, right? Or are you just leaving it
Sometime
in an arena like that? You just leave it all
depends.
open.
In an arena, it's usually just open. Yeah.
And he just like leaves the bag on the stage. Like, this is
like,
the safest spot for the most
well,
important thing to the band.
I just almost lost my life for this bag. No one's here.
We'll just leave it here.
I guess I'll put it right here. And there's still a couple lights on, which the lighting guy left on. Yeah, I'll just leave it right there. Cool.
The LD's like, you know what? Maybe the runner might come back later and leave a very important bag on the stage.
Where's
I'm going to
that
leave some
runner?
floodlights on.
Yeah.
All right, so then we have, which might be the most exciting moment of the entire film, which is roll credits, Metallica plays.
Which before we get into this, I just want to say when I first saw this, he sets the bag down and the credits started rolling, and I thought to myself, of course, what the fuck? I was like pissed.
Really?
The bag's just there, but then they went into Orion. And I was like, okay, this is cool.
And now we get into the symbolism.
Yep.
So what's your take on it?
I mean, I think that the spirit of Cliff Burton is in that bag.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's something that, like we've talked about with Cliff, he will always be a huge part of Metallica, almost like the soul of Metallica.
Yes.
So my thought, even before I read what it has been said that it is, in that bag is, you know, you don't know exactly, but I would like to believe that it's like the soul of Cliff Burton.
Yeah, I agree. It's like it's the spirit of Cliff, and it's always with them. It's one of the most important things of the band.
It's always with them unless it's on a box truck stranded.
Unless they've somehow left it on a truck somewhere.
We lost Cliff's soul.
Whoops.
It was on his box truck and the dude ran out of gas.
Whoopsie.
Then Bane showed up.
Well, we weren't expecting a zombie apocalypse tonight.
Yeah.
But to me, there's also a symbolism and a significance to them playing that song in the empty arena. So there's like this idea of emptiness and like there's something missing.
Well, it's very personal. It's just the four of them.
And it's not like when they're playing Orion, there's like they're cutting the shots of the bag.
Right.
You have to kind of piece it together.
Yeah.
It asks questions, right? Like, what's the bag? And like they got slagged of like that they were trying to rip off Pulp Fiction, which Lars is a big film nerd too. Lars is a big Quentin Tarantino fan. They were like, man, they just try to like do the whole what's in the box, what's in the whatever. It's like, no, man, they're just like letting their fans ask questions.
Yeah, for sure.
And to me, it was really rewarding to like sit there and be like, they're playing kind of like Cliff's swan song.
Yeah.
To an empty arena.
Yeah.
This whole film, the whole drama of the film is about finding this bag. They don't let us see what's in it.
Right.
But it's like, I don't know, man. It really made, like, I retrospectively liked the film even more after the credits.
Yeah. No, I thought it was a great ending.
Not to mention they fucking kill Orion, dude.
Oh, they do. They totally do.
I love when they play Orion.
Yeah. And you know what? Robert does a great job with all that stuff.
I know, I love it.
The only question I have, the question I was left with was, Robert, why didn't you just play like a Rickenbacker on that, just that
He
song?
played that Aria Pro.
No, he didn't even play that.
But what is that blue thing he's playing?
Exactly. It's a blue thing.
Oh, he's playing the copyright blue thing.
I will go on record as saying I cannot
not an Aria
stand
Pro?
the basses that Robert plays. I don't even know the brand.
Well, he plays that cool Fender, though.
No, he plays. I think it's actually a Jacob Astorius signature bass. It's all
'cause he's a Jaco
distressed and
freak,
stuff.
yeah.
I think we've mentioned that he I think produced the Jacob Astorius documentary.
Right.
It's on Netflix. But no, I love Robert. I love it. I think he's a great bass player. But those basses with the smaller bodies, I think they just look so lame. And then you're playing Orion about this whole.
It would be cool if he played a Rick.
It totally would.
Yeah, I agree.
Or the Area Pro. But whatever. That's just me. I didn't direct it. Whatever.
No, Nimrod did.
Nimrod did. Don't forget it.
Don't forget.
The Green Day album Nimrod directed this.
Yeah. Those are the times of my life. What's this, a big song on Nimrod?
That's the one. Oh, that's the.
Good Riddance.
It was the last track on the record.
No, Nimrod had a Gaga.
No, that was Insomniac.
Oh, look at you. Fucking
like-
Green
I
Day
like
fan
Green
over
Day.
here. I do too.
From California. Nimrod had.
Oh, is it a California? It's a California thing.
Well, it's a
I'm
little
California,
different when
bro.
you're from there. I mean, like I listened to Green Day before the sellout moment. You know,
Dude, I had Dookie when I was in sixth grade. Loved every.
that was a sellout
second of it.
record.
Oh, it was.
I don't think so, but that's
Kerplunk-
what people
but
consider
people,
the
people
sellout
thought
record.
Kerplunk was like
Yeah, Kerplunk and
thousand. What was that one record? That was a long title.
Yeah, it was their first stuff on Lookout. But what was I about to say? I'm blanking now. We're talking about Green Day.
Yeah, let's not talk about Green Day anymore.
Bay Area band. Them and Metallica are cool.
Yeah,
Billy Joe and James did a thing at the benefit show they do
where
every year.
where they do turn the page and then Billy Joe goes into I walk these up and trust.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a huge Green Day fan.
Pile of
I
pie.
walk since I was inside.
Pile of pie.
All the ones on that pile of pie. I pile of pie.
It's a Thanksgiving song. You love a pile of pie.
Yeah.
Apple.
My turkey only based it enough for me to eat.
That's a good
it.
song.
I will say, my biggest question about Through the Never, no Through the Never on the set list.
Yes.
The fucking film is called Through the
Never.
fucking Never.
And it was not in there.
Gosh.
Could have just been like, hey, that's a cool title. Like maybe you know,
It is a cool title for sure.
it is a cool title.
But could
Well,
have
you never find out what's in the bag. This guy's journey is through the never. I don't know. I'm just spitballing
are you
here.
like
I don't
working?
know.
Are you still working like publicity for the film? The failed film.
That's what it sounds like.
You're like,
Apparently,
look, through like you're going through
You're going
something.
through something,
you never
but-
know.
that's what happens, man.
I think Through the Never is a great title. Through the Never, I think the Black Album could have been called Through the Never.
Yes.
But is it the best title for this film where they don't even play the song? I don't know. You could have called the fucking film Blackened, right?
You could have.
You could have called the film Enter Sandman. I mean, you could have called the film anything.
I mean, but would if they would have changed or had the title be one of the songs that was played in the set, would any of those be a little cheesy because they're all such huge songs?
Yeah, maybe that's their logic. Yeah.
Like, it would be kind of cheesy to me if it was like, hey, we're Metallica. This is our new film, Enter Sandman.
Dude,
like,
you could have called this fucking film Creeping Death for sure.
Actually, you're correct.
The
That
whole
would have been
film
fucking
feels
awesome.
like Creeping Death.
Yes, that would have been awesome.
Right?
Agreed. I think that's a great note to end on because we have. I mean, I think we've covered everything in this film. I love. I'll say this. I love the film. There's a little cheese factor here and there, but
it's
overall,
I mean,
it's
yeah, I agree.
awesome.
Yeah, it's not Pulp Fiction, but if you like Metallica, how could you not like this?
I know.
The concert footage is as good as it gets.
Yep.
It's them kicking ass.
Yep.
There's not a single sour moment as far as the concert film.
Right.
And if you're really getting the sort of 15 to 20 minute of like unexplainable, perhaps even illogical drama, it's shot and edited so well that it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's a fucking ride, dude. Get
Yeah.
on it. Enjoy it.
It's Metallica. You love Metallica. We love Metallica. So enjoy it.
I don't love Metallica.
Wait a second. Oh shit.
Yeah.
You're a Kiss fan. Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, man, I'm in the Bee Gees, dude. Should we say goodbye?
Yeah, we should say goodbye. I think we've covered the everything we can on this film. But if you hear something or didn't hear something, and you wish we would have talked about this film, please let us know. You can email us at metalupyourpodcastshow@gmail.com. You can tweet us at metalupyourpc, and you can Instagram message us or comment or whatever. Metal Up Your Podcast on Instagram. And Clint will be on Reddit. Clint will be on the forums answering your questions.
Hell yeah.
Did I miss anything?
I will say this. If you guys care to, and this is in no way soliciting or begging, just if you care to, if you could take a moment and go to iTunes and just leave a very quick review.
You don't have to praise us and tell us
I mean,
this
you
is
can
the
do
best
that.
podcast in the world. But if you do,
But we're not asking for that. But what happens is when people are searching for Metallica podcasts like we did before we started this,
Right.
if they see Metal Up Your Podcast and see that it has 10 or 20 or 30 or whatever positive reviews, it's just psychological. People click on that. They trust it. They trust your reviews.
Well, it also helps this podcast get noticed a little more. And all we want to do is keep expanding this to the Metallica
we just
family.
want more ears. Yeah, we want to share all this shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
my only thing is, before we split, is just take a moment, go say, hey, we dig the podcast. You'll like it too if you like Metallica or whatever the fuck. Just
Yeah, exactly.
share your own thing. That's my thing before I say bye.
That can be our thing.
It's our thing. Let's share
It's
that.
our thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's mine and Ethan's
It's
thing.
a shared thing. So, yeah.
But
Go to
thank you-
iTunes and sing our praises is all we're saying.
And even if you don't do it, thanks for checking it out.
Always. Thank you. We appreciate you. We pay attention. We are so thankful. We've been looking at our stats recently on, we go through Simplecast, and it's pretty mind-blowing that we're, a little over 2 months old and we're seeing the numbers we are. It's
We've been looking at our stats and shitting.
shitting stats. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, guys. We hope you enjoyed the episode. See you next time.
If you were our advisor, what would you say? Then I would say delete that.